And you're live.
Jayala Tamatava Kunja Vihari Jayala Jayala Tamatava Kunja Vihari Jayala Jaya Gopi Chanavalapa Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Chanavalapa Jaya Gopi Chanavalapa Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vajajana Lanchana Yashodanandana Vajajana Yamunadira Vanachari Yamunadira Vanachari Jayara Tamatava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jayom Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivaraja Kachaya Ashtosata Shri Shrima A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki is confounder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Galandharaj Shrima Bhagavatam Ki Gaura Brahmananda. Reciting the prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sava Shashati Piyusha Sava Vedaka Sapala Sava Siddhanta Ranadya Sava Patra. O nectar from the ocean, O scripture, single fluid of all the Vedas, which man puts gems on composed true, you are the only giver sight of all the worlds. Sava Bhavata Pana Shiva Bhagavata Bhava Haridanta Ditaditya Shri Krishna Paripatita. O laughable Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Srimad Bhagavatam, your son lights in darkness of Kali, the exact image of Shri Krishna. Paramananda Bhataya Pema Vasha Shalayate Savada Sabase Vyaya Shri Krishna Namaste. I bow down to you who are Supreme Buddhist Tutelary. Flood of Prema, you can always be served by everyone, you are Shri Krishna himself. Vadeka Bando Masangi, Makuro Mamahadana, Manisakama, Bhagya, Madana Namaste. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my savior, my good fortune, my social ecstasy, I bow down to you. Asadu Sadhu Tadani, Adini Chochatakara, Araman Jagara, Jaiman, Puranahri Katayos. Oh, bestow saintliness and sanctity, O exalt the most swollen. Always hear my heart and my voice of pure love. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 27, entitled Understanding Material Nature. Text number 16. Evam Paratyavam Lishasav
Evam Pratyavam Vishyasav
Atamanam Pratipadyate
Atmanam Pratipadyate
Sahankarasya Taravyasya
Sahankarasya Dravyasya
Yovasthana Anugraha
Yavasana Manugraha
Evam Paratyavam Dishasa
Evam Pratyavam Vishyasav
Atamanam Pratipadyate
Atmanam Pratipadyate
Sahankarasya Taravyasya
Sahankarasya Dravyasya
Yovasthana Anugraha
Yavasana Manugraha
Evam Pratyavam Dishasa
Evam Pratyavam Vishyasav
Atamanam Pratipadyate
Atmanam Pratipadyate
Sahankarasya Taravyasya
Sahankarasya Dravyasya
Yovasthana Anugraha
Yavasana Manugraha Evam pratyabam rishyasa.
Evam pratyabam vishasa.
Atmanam pratipadyate.
Atamanam pratipadyate.
Sahankarasya prahyasya.
Sahankarasya taravyasya.
Yogastanam anugraha.
Yovasthanam anugraha.
Evam pratyabam rishyasa.
Evam pratyabam vishasa.
Atmanam patipadyate.
Atamanam pratipadyate.
Sahankarasya dravyasya.
Sahankarasya taravyasya.
Yogastanam anugraha.
Yovasthanam anugraha.
Evam pratyabam vishasa.
Evam pratyabam vishasa.
Atmanam pratipadyate.
Atamanam pratipadyate.
Sahankarasya pratyasya.
Sahankarasya taravyasya. Yovasthanam anugraha. Wonderful word. Evam,
Evam
thus,
thus.
pratyabam visha,
Pratyabam visha.
after understanding.
After understanding
Also,
So
the person,
that person,
Atamanam,
Atmanam
his self,
the self,
pratipadyate,
pratipadyate.
realizes,
Realizes.
sa-ahankarasya,
Sahankarasya.
accepted under false ego,
Accepted under false ego.
taravyasya,
Pravyasya.
of the situation,
Of the situation.
yaha,
Ya.
who, avasthanam,
Avasthanam.
resting place,
resting place,
anugraha,
Anugraha.
the manifester.
the manifester.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. When by mature understanding one can realize his individuality, then the situation he accepts under false ego becomes manifest to him. Purport. The Mayavadi philosopher's position is that at the ultimate issue, the individual is lost. Everything becomes one, and there is no distinction between the knower, the knowable, and the knowledge. But by minute analysis, we can see that this is not correct. Individuality is never lost, even when one thinks that the three different principles, namely the knower, the knowable, and the knowledge, are amalgamated or merged into one. The very concept that the three merges into one is another form of knowledge. And since the perceiver of the knowledge still exists, how can one say that the knower, knowledge, and the knowable have become one? The individual soul who is perceiving this knowledge still remains as individual, both in material existence and in spiritual existence. The individuality continues. The only difference is in the quality of the identity. In the material identity, the false ego acts, and because of false identification, one takes things to be different from what they actually are. That is the basic principle of conditional life. Similarly, when the false ego is purified, one takes everything in the right perspective. That is the state of liberation. It is stated in the Ishopanishad that everything belongs to the Lord. Isha Vasyam Idam Savam. Everything exists on the energy of the Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Because everything is produced of his energy and exists on his energy. The energy is not different from him, but still the Lord declares, I am not there. When one clearly understands one's constitutional position, everything becomes manifest. False egoistic acceptance of things conditions one, whereas acceptance of things as they are makes one liberated. The example given in the previous verse is applicable here. Due to absorption of one's identity in his money, when the money is lost, he thinks that he is also lost. But actually, he is not identical with the money, nor does the money belong to him. When the actual situation is revealed, we understand that the money does not belong to any individual person or living entity, nor is it produced by man. Ultimately, the money is the property of the Supreme Lord, and there's no question of its being lost. But as long as one falsely thinks, I am the enjoyer, or I am the Lord, this concept of life continues, and one remains conditioned. As soon as this false ego is eliminated, one is liberated, as confirmed in the Bhagavatam. Situation in one's real constitutional position is called mukti, or liberation. Om Agyana Timelandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaura Bhattam Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. We are in the middle of a very technical part of Bhagavatam. In previous chapter, Kapila he was instructing his mother, Devahuti, about Sankhya Yoga. And this chapter, he further explains the nature of the material world. In next chapter, he will explain Ashtanga Yoga and then Bhakti Yoga. This section of Bhagavatam can be difficult for some devotees. It is too philosophical or too technical. We may ask, can we just do kirtan and take prasad? Why do we have to analyze these tattvas? Isn't Bhakti Yoga just about glorifying Krishna and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Yes, this is true. The chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the ultimate goal, and it is the means to achieve this goal. But we have experienced that when we try to focus the mind on chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so many things come into the mind, so many thoughts. We think about everything except the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Therefore, we need to analyze the real situation of Maya. Maya, the illusory energy, appears real because it is coming from Krishna, the absolute truth. Therefore, it appears real. But the function of Maya is to cheat and give pain to the conditioned souls. It looks like nectar at the beginning. That's how we are being trapped. But it always ends in misery. This is the true nature of Maya. Actually, Krishna Katha, Srimad Bhagavatam, only talks about two topics: the misery of matter and the bliss of the spirit. But by different packaging, by different ways of presentation, Krishna expertly give the medicine for the conditioned souls. So in this section of Bhagavatam, Kapila Dev, he first analyzes the nature of the material world, the 24 elements, how they come into manifestation. And then he gives the solution, how to actually become free and liberated from material entanglement. Human beings are different from animals in that animals, they suffer, but they don't understand why they are suffering. Human beings will have this capacity to understand that, yes, we are suffering in the material world. And we want to find the solution to become happy. And Krishna, he gives in Kali Yuga the best solution to become truly happy, and that is the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just serve Krishna selflessly and give up the false ego and the spirit to enjoy separately from Krishna. But we may say, this is too difficult. Intoxication, illicit sex. How can we give up this? Seems like impossible. And some devotees, after initiation, yes, we can keep up with the vows, but still, we may struggle with the senses and the mind. Will it be possible that one day we can become pure completely? We may ask ourselves. When I was a non-devotee, I had this some doubt. How can that be possible to become 100% selfless and serve Krishna and his devotees? That troubled me for many years, actually. For a few times, I decided to fully surrender to Maya. And this one time, after heaps of suffering and distress, finally, His Holiness Devanita Swami Maharaj, he was able to convince me to chant Hare Krishna on japa beads. Somehow, I was slightly convinced and have had a little bit faith. Yes, he's a way more intelligent than me. He's a guru. And he seems, and he is actually bereft of selfish motivations. I was convinced about his Shakti and his Ananda and his knowledge. And I started to chant Hare Krishna on beads. 16 rounds straight away, not just 1, 2, and building up. 16 rounds straight away. It took me 5 or 6 hours actually. After that, I didn't understand what was going on. But for a few days, I was experiencing happiness that I never experienced before. And I was convinced, and I became a devotee. I remember Ramdas Babu, he said, he was saying me, if I become a devotee, then anyone can become a devotee. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nityananda Prabhu, he says the same thing. Let Jaga and Madai become devotees, so that the whole world can become devotees. So this is the quick process, having full faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In this chapter and the next chapter, Kapila Dev, he gave a process to his mother, Devahuti, that Ashtanga Yoga should be performed. Ashtanga Yoga is part of Vaishnava practice because the aim is Vishnu. It is mentioned in a few places in Bhagavatam. In the second canto, Sukadev recommended to Padakit Maharaj, after revealing the true nature of material world, he asked him to perform Ashtanga Yoga, meditate on the super soul. And in this third canto, Devahuti is instructed to perform Ashtanga Yoga. In the fourth canto, Dhruva Maharaj was instructed by Narada Muni to perform Ashtanga Yoga. In the fifth canto, Rishabhadev, after putting Bharata Maharaj, his son, onto the throne, he performed Ashtanga Yoga. In the seventh canto, after explaining the Varna Ashrama system to Yudhishthira Maharaj by Narada Muni, he recommended Ashtanga Yoga to be performed. Ashtanga means 8 limbs. It consists of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Yama means things not to do. Not to be a liar, not to commit violence, not to become greedy, etc. And niyama is what to do. Becoming clean, find a sacred place, study the Vedas, follow celibacy, etc. Although Ashtanga Yoga is not recommended for Kali Yuga participants, because the candidates don't have sufficient lifespan to perform, and the mind is always disturbed. But the principles of Ashtanga Yoga is highly recommended. in Bhagavad Gita as well, to Arjuna by Krishna. And third anga, asana, sitting in a yogic position, putting the kushakras at the bottom, and then deer skin, and then soft cloth or cotton. Deer skin can prevent the insects approaching. And then pranayama, focusing on the breath control. Inhale deeply and hold the breath, and then exhale. Or exhale deeply and hold the breath, and then inhale. This is to calm the mind. We have 6 chakras in the body. Chakra means the energy center, the circulation of air. First one in the belly, second one in the heart, third one on the chest or in the lungs, and then on the neck, before the forehead, and on top of the skull. So by pranayama performance, the yogi can elevate the life force up to the skull when he desires to leave the body. Ordinary persons, the life air, when they die, comes out of the mouth. And then pratyahara, refraining from sense objects, sense control. Adurukasho mune yogam kama karanam uchate. Yoga rudasya tasyaiva shama karanam uchate. For the nearby yogis, these physical postures are said to be the means. But for the one who are elevated, cessation of material activities are said to be the means. And then comes dharana, full concentration. And then dhyana, meditation on the Supreme. And then samadhi, absorption. So this is Ashtanga Yoga. And for the advanced yogi, he actually meditates on the form of Vishnu, starting from the feet and then up to the face. And in between that, when the yogi meditates on the chest of Vishnu, he derives mystical power, 8 powers of material perfection. But that is not the end. The end is to see Krishna, see Vishnu. And these yogi principles of Ashtanga Yoga are recommended for Bhakti yogis. But for us, our main focus is to chant Hare Krishna and to perform selfless service to devotees and Krishna. And if possible, and it is highly recommended, to give Krishna to others, participating in the yoga of Sankirtana. One cannot go back to Vaikuntha or Krishna Loka unless he or she feels compassion for the suffering conditioned souls. My younger brother once told me a story. He's a few years younger than me. And in school, middle school, high school, lots of ladies, girls, schoolgirls were attracted to him. It is inconceivable. If you actually have seen my brother, skinny Chinaman, but he has the karma. And some other young boys became envious. And my younger brother, he was puffed up, proud as well. And these other young boys, they decided to beat my brother due to envy. A few of them. So my younger brother was lying on the ground, being kicked, being punched by these envious young teenagers. And my mother, she heard about this, and she became so angry and compassionate. Immediately, she rushed to the houses of the parents of these teenagers. When my younger brother told me his suffering, I also became very unhappy. So this is the position of every conditioned soul in the material world. Everyone is being bullied, kicked, punched by the modes of nature, Raja and Tama especially. They're in a very helpless position. They can't do anything. Seems impossible. It's insurmountable to cross the ocean of material suffering. Unless the Supreme Mother and the Father, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, descends to help the helpless conditioned souls. The mother and the father actually feeling very, very unhappy about our suffering. And as devotees of the Lord, we should see every conditioned soul as our brother, as our family member. Their suffering is our suffering. How can we tolerate when one is being bullied by Raja, by Tama? So this is yoga of Sankirtan, giving Krishna to others. And then Krishna, he will give himself to us. This is the secret. You cannot chant Hare Krishna 24 hours every day. Even Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, he said, it is a pretentious behavior to go to a secluded place and chant Hare Krishna. It is cheating. We're being cheated by the mind. We have to go out and preach Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the glories of devotional service. And this requires cooperation between devotees. Devotees are so merciful. Yes, we're all beginning devotees. There can be faults, shortcomings, misunderstandings. But how does that matter? Why is that important? Small faults. The major thing is that devotees are trying to become perfect. They are following the vows or trying to follow. How amazing that it is. Even though one may not be a devotee, a full-time devotee, still Krishna is in the heart of everyone. He is the Paramatma, the super soul. Therefore, we respect everyone. We try to show compassion to those who are less than us. Of course, we should always think we're the lowest. And we should make friendship with peer devotees. Never fault find, never become envious of the merciful devotees. And we should honor, serve those who are actually determined to engage in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan service. Thank you for everyone's association. Hare Krishna. Kalantara Shrima Bhagavatam Ke.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada Ke.
Jai.
Gaura Pramanande.
Haribo.
Visnu Tejas, the very king.
Jai.